You're powerless to stop the other one because they're the ones with those powers. There's a reason for that. And you don't get to replace that with high-minded rhetoric. Anyway, without further ado, we have assisting in the opining and analyzing none other than Chad Caton, National Director of Operations for Veterans for Trump. He's formerly a business owner, EMT, and firefighter. He's here to talk with us about the border. Chad, good to have you back. How are you today?
I'm doing great today, Alan. Thanks for having me.
Well, good to have you. Good to have you. Look, this border thing is really a head spinner. Recently, we had this conversation between Katie Couric and the vice president, Kamala Harris. And Katie Couric says, you're really not on the border. And Harris said, well, the first bill that we ever offered was a bill to fix this immigration system because we have a broken immigration system. This conversation happened on Couric's show called The Next Question. I'm asking you this. Since when is the enforcement of existing law ever contingent upon the passage of new? I ask you, sir. I don't think it's ever been.
It's never been, and this is what we deal with coming out of this regime. They keep trying to move the goalposts and make it work for them until somebody pressures them or pushes back. That's one thing I love about the country is we are pushing back. We're seeing it at the border. We're seeing it with multiple states. And Kamala Harris and Joe Biden seem to continue to try to change the rules as they go until somebody does push back, and it's coming faster and faster. I think we're moving in the right direction as to that aspect for sure.
Oh, and it's astonishing to watch them say what they say. Oh, the reason we can't fix anything is because they won't adopt the plan that I put in there on day one to fix our broken immigration reform. That's a secondary measure being used to avoid the primary one their arguments can't satisfy. I mean, Title VIII gives this president and all presidents all the authority they need. Or more specifically, it's Title VIII, Chapter 12, Subchapter 2, Part 2, Section 1182. Let me read it here.
Okay.
Whenever the president finds that the entry of any aliens or of any class of aliens into the United States would be detrimental to the interests of the United States, he may, by proclamation and for such period as he shall deem necessary, suspend the entry of all aliens or any class of aliens as immigrants or non-immigrants, or impose on the entry of aliens any restrictions he may deem to be appropriate. So Biden has all the actionable authority necessary to dramatically resolve the overall illegal immigration problem, including unlawful border crossings. Isn't that fair to say?
It's absolutely fair to say, and that's exactly where we sit here as the American citizens scratching our head, and a lot of people not knowing the nuance of what you just read. It's pretty self-explanatory, and again, it comes to where the American people aren't putting up with it anymore.
Let me ask you something, Chad. Do you see Governor Abbott building more wire fencing at a faster rate than the feds can tear it down? Because that's what's going to happen right now. It's a race.
It is a race, and I haven't seen any footage of them cutting it. I saw a loader lifting it so they could get underneath it, because ultimately I would love to see Biden's people go out there and start cutting and having Abbott's people put it back up, because it's going to show the stupidity of what went to the Supreme Court in the first place, and how they was smart based on adjudication of a small caveat to what they're doing. Ultimately, it puts us in a position where we're going to continue with the terrible optics coming out of this regime and win.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, I can see the videos now during election, and I think the left know that. They're going to say, wait a minute, they're going to be illustrating how we're trying to permit illegal immigrants to come in, all under the argument that, well, border security is somehow tantamount to xenophobia. What a load of crap. All countries are allowed to control the influx of people who enter their country without fear of the xenophobia card being thrown at them. We have the same right. Stick with us.
So when we're setting up stuff for the new year,